about the short time I've spent with Ray. When he's really passionate about a subject, he keeps bringing it back on the show sheet, and he gives me the story, the packet, right? I think Ray is really obsessed right now with the Phillies retiring the numbers of certain players from the year 2008. Am I right, Ray?
Yeah, alumni weekend.
You are obsessed with you need to have the number 6, 11, and 26 retired.
That's right.
You go all three?
All three.
So you also got to put this into perspective.
And 35.
Yeah, I'd throw 35 in there, too.
But 35's already been worn.
Yeah, I don't like that Oscar Mercado was the one that broke the seal on that.
What about David Dahl wearing
Yeah,
number
also
35?
not a big fan of that
that's
either.
a disgrace. And so here's where I go with this, Ray. First of all, they should not be retired, the numbers. Only Hall of Fame worthy people should be retired. Now, Jimmy Rollins is the only player in that 4 that we mentioned who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He's never going to get there because his voting totals have been minuscule, right? So he's never going to get there. I believe that with his numbers, he definitely should be in the Hall of Fame when you compare him to any other shortstop, including Ozzie Smith, who's in the Hall of Fame, that Jimmy Rollins should be in the Hall of Fame. But he's not going to get in there. So my hard and fast rule is you don't give the number out, but you don't retire it either.
So when is it okay to give out number 11 again?
It's not.
Never.
Yes.
You never give it out.
But you don't retire it either. Out of respect, you don't give some guy coming up in the minor leagues to play shortstop number 11. Now, I might give away now, a lot of people think Utley should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't believe he should, and it's a shame because he just didn't play long enough. He was hurt too much.
Wait,
no, number 6. Listen, Ryan Howard was a very potent player for the Phillies, but you shouldn't retire that. It's number 6, should you?
No, but if you look at some of those numbers in there, those seasons that Howard had were impressive.
I get it, but you don't retire the number because of that.
Wait, are every number retired by the Phillies is the player in the Hall of Fame? Richie Ashburn, yes. Jim Bunning, Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
Dick Allen's the one that's not.
Dick Allen is not. Mike Schmidt, Steve Carlton, Roy Halladay, Robin Roberts, Grover Cleveland Alexander.
What do they all have in common?
Chuck Klein, and then obviously Jackie Robinson.
What do they have in common?
They all are Hall of Famers.
Yes.
Except for Jim Bunning. Right? Is that the only
in the
one?
Hall of Fame?
I think Bunning's in the Hall of Fame. I think
Yeah,
it's
he's in the
literally
Hall of
just Dick
Fame.
Allen's the
Oh,
one's
Dick
not,
Allen.
not in
Okay.
the Hall of Fame.
Dick Allen, you can make it should be. But out of deference to Dick Allen and all he went through in this Philly organization, that's like a give back.
You think so?
Yes.
See, I could.
To me, you retire. You can't retire like the Yankees retire numbers like it's going out of style. But they're all going to be Hall of Fame players. Unless you're a Hall of Famer, you can't retire the number. But you just don't give it out to some like schlepper.
Here's where I disagree with you. Phillies 2008 World Series, you don't have a single representative. Don't you need Jimmy Rollins' number retired since he was a part of a World Series team?
One World Series? We're talking about one World Series. They should have won 2 more in that era.
Yeah, but they didn't.
Well, that's why they shouldn't be retired numbers.
It's the only World
They
Series.
won 1 World Series.
It's the only World Series the Phillies have had in 44
doesn't
years.
matter. They were good enough to win a couple in that era, and they lumped it. Especially in 2011.
I would retire J-Roll. Ray, you would retire all
you can't
three?
retire one without the rest of them.
Yeah, you can't retire. Listen, unless you get in the Hall of Fame, you should not be. This is very easy. It's a very easy decision here that I'm making.
But you're basically retiring them without retiring them.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand.
Because there's a difference between that. Maybe years down the road, you bring that number out again for somebody. You don't do it now. You don't do it fresh.
Yeah, I don't understand the difference on this one. If you're just saying let's not put it in circulation
Because they
now,
don't deserve to be retired.
I think they absolutely deserve to be retired.
They deserve to be put in a closet. They don't deserve to be retired.
They absolutely deserve
they
to be
don't.
When you
They're
end
not
up
in Hall of Fame.
When you go down the line and someone goes down to Citizens Bank Park and wants a representative of what happened during what some people considered a golden era of Phillies baseball, there is nothing right now. They're better than just Wall of Famers. They are better than the line of Wall of Fame. They might not be Hall of Fame, but if you go between that line of the two, they've qualified in my
He's
eyes.
very passionate about this. He's
Absolutely.
very passionate.
Yeah.
This was in Ray's wheelhouse when he was the little Ray. When they won that World Series.
That's what I was going to say.
And that's what resonates with him.
You got to put it into perspective.
Yeah.
Ray was
Right.
like 8.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Right?
it
Right.
bore an entire generation of Phillies fans.
Yeah. See, I'm not a big fan of the retired numbers unless you're like immortal. These guys aren't immortal. They're good.
In this franchise's history, they're
As I'm
immortal.
looking at the stats.
in the general concept of baseball.
But as
you
I'm
have to be
looking
immortal.
as I'm looking at the stats, man, Ryan Howard does have a case.
For the Hall of Fame?
No,
Not for the
for
Hall
a
of Fame.
retired number.
Oh, come on now, Bill. Stop.
Second in franchise history in home runs. Second in franchise history in RBIs.
Come on, man.
382 homers, man.
382 home runs should not get you a retired number. 500 gets you a retired number. Come on.
He was a big part of that 08 team.
So
He
do
was
you
the
hold
big
it
piece.
Do you hold it against the teams of the late 70s, early 80s that they only won one? Do you hold it against the guys of that team that they only won one World
Any of
Series?
those numbers retired?
Schmitty.
Yeah, I mean they are.
All right.
They are, but I'm curious
the
because
only
you're
number that's
holding
retired is the greatest player in franchise history.
absolutely
with that team.
If you
And
were to put
Carlson.
together a
Larry,
starting nine,
Larry Bowa should be in the Hall of Fame with his numbers. His number's not retired.
if you were
Number
to put
10 is not retired.
if you were to put together a starting nine for this organization's history, are those three not in it?
All of them are in it.
They're immortals
That
in the
doesn't- that-
context of this organization.
Does
You're not
mean their
retiring them across
numbers should be
baseball.
retired. We've gone too far with putting people in the Hall of Fame and also retiring their numbers.
Too
There's
far.
got to be some dignity to this.
Too far in putting people in the Hall of Fame in
Yes.
baseball.
Yes.
Baseball is the most selective process.
No, they've put baseball Hall of Famers in like crazy because they don't have like the best guy that is on the list from year to year goes in the Hall of Fame because they have nobody else to put it in. There's a lot of guys that don't belong in the Hall of Fame that get into the Hall of Fame.
That's because of the steroid era, though.
Think in
They don't-
baseball, it's
In baseball, look at the most recent Hall of Fame inductees. Just look at them. I'll let you do some homework, and I'll tell you who belongs in and who does not belong in.
okay.
You
Sounds
by,
good to
you go
me.
by feel.
Well, then let
Okay?
me.
Does Fred McGriff belong in the Hall of Fame?
The crime dog?
Yeah. Does the Crime Dog belong in the Hall of Fame?
Probably not.
Yeah, probably.
He
not.
got in. Why did he get in? He was the top name on the list.
Okay.
That's how they do it. These writers. I am volunteering to be the all arbiter of all Hall of Fame or retired numbers, and you go by feel.